Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your yarn host Jennifer and today's Thursday. And in the past, Thursday was P-Yow! And today it's no different. Today's P-Yow. Alright? We don't do P-Yows every Thursday anymore because we don't. We've changed up the format a little bit on the channel. There's the dog. They had the audacity to walk past our house. Today's featured yarn is the Premier Yarns Spice Shop. Now, this does have a little bit of wool in it. I give you options for wool-free alternatives to use in the pattern that I'm about to show you the tutorial for. So if you can't use wool or don't like wool or whatever, the Sweet Roll Bold is an excellent substitute for this. I also show you Hometown yarn from Line Brand. I show you just a small clippet of that. Really, this is to feature a Premier Yarns yarn, but you can alter or alternate with whatever bulky, super bulky 6-weight yarn you have. We used a 10mm crochet hook. This is the Omi hook from Amazon. I will link this below because I always get asked about these hooks. I love these hooks. They are one of my favorite hooks. And for the tutorial, which I'm going to show you in 1 second, we used 3.5 balls of the Spice Shop. So you're going to need to purchase 4 in any colors that you want. The colors I used for the tutorial were Cayenne, Saffron, Sweet Pepper, and Lavender. Okay. And what we're making today is a wrap. It's a fall wrap, it's a winter scarf, it's whatever you want it to be. It is granny square, corner to corner. That's what we did, granny square, corner to corner. It's super easy, super beginner friendly. It's got a lot of amazing, beautiful colors in it. Like I said, I used 4 different colorways. You can do it all in the same colorway if you want. You can also, if you use, see how you can see like the design on the bias? If you use the Sweet Roll Bold, which I will link below, it will give you more defined stripes. Whereas this is not so much stripes, but you can still see that it's on the bias. Either yarn will work beautifully. The Sweet Roll Bold is 100% acrylic. This does have wool in it. So, this is how we wear it. It's meant to be a wrap that keeps you warm, like fireside, or if you got to go walk out and get the mail at the mailbox and somewhere near your house, or if you want to sit on the porch and rock, whatever you want to do, and it's a little bit chilly, but not quite like coat weather, and you just want something that's going to keep your shoulders warm, your arms warm. This is the perfect wrap. Can be worn also as a big bulky scarf. This scarf / wrap is about 6 feet long. So it works very well with a big body. It will work very well with a small body. I show you how to make it different lengths. It wraps around me with room. I'm a 3X, 4X, so that should help you. You can also wear it like this if it's super cold out and you want to keep your head warm. Like, it's a beautiful, and I also tell you at the end of the tutorial, because I was thinking, you could sew pockets onto this and make it a pocket scarf, a pocket wrap if you wanted to. But is this not beautiful? These colors are amazing. I knew I liked the Spice Shop yarn when it came out. I knew I was going to love it, and I knew right away what I was going to make with it. I have just enough left over to make myself a couple of hats, and this one is definitely going to be a knit hat because this will match this. So we're going to make a matching hat, probably tonight. But let's get on to the tutorial. We're going to make this beautiful. We're going to call it Granny's Spice Wrap. Granny's Spice Wrap. Granny Spice Wrap. That's what we're going to call it. And I'm going to forget, so I got to write that down. Let's get on to the tutorial. I forgot to say, you need about 450 yards of a 6-weight yarn with your 10mm hook. So plan to 450 yards. I had 4 balls. I used 3.5, so plan about 450 to 500 yards for this wrap, and a 10mm hook. All right, now we can go down to the table. All right, guys, we're gonna do the tutorial. I am actually using a different yarn entirely for the beginning stages of this because I really want you to be able to see the stitches. So I grabbed the only other semi-solid color of yarn that is a 6-weight off of my shelf, which is the Hometown Yarns from Lion Brand. This is a 6-weight. It's 100% acrylic. Honestly, this feels a lot like the Spice Shop, except the Spice Shop has a little bit of wool in it. This feels like there's wool in it, but there's not. Normally, I would grab another Premier Yarns because I am using the Premier Yarns Spice Shop for the tutorial. But I used up all of my Sweet Roll Bold, which is another alternative. If you can't use wool, I would suggest either the Hometown from Lion Brand or the Sweet Roll Bold for this tutorial because they're all a 6-weight. Alright, like I said, we're going to be switching over in a few minutes to the Spice Shop so you can see what that looks like, but we're starting the beginning with the Hometown just so that you can see the stitches. I am once again using a 10mm crochet hook. This is, I can't remember what this hook is called. It's available on Amazon. I will link it below. Alright, to start, we're going to make a slip knot. If you don't know how to make a slip knot, you do this. You make like what looks like an awareness ribbon with a short tail on the bottom. You go from top to bottom, you grab a loop and you pull it up. It's really that simple to make a slip knot. Okay, this is a very beginner friendly pattern. It's easy. You should not have any problems making it. We are going to start off with a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. In the very first stitch that we created, that slip knot right next to where the knot and the tail are, we're going to put 2 double crochets in the same stitch, okay? 1 and 2. And I'm going in slow motion so we can all see what I'm doing, okay? It should look like this. It's going to look like a jumbled up mess, okay? We're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to flip it over, okay? In that stitch we just chained 3 out of, right here, we're going to put 2 double crochet in the same stitch. It should look like this. Then we're going to go over here into the next stitch over, and we're going to put 3 double crochet. This is kind of corner to corner granny stitch that I'm teaching you. It's very simple. It looks like this, okay? So row 1 will have 1 granny stitch. Row 2 will have 2 granny stitches. Chain 3 double crochet, 3 double crochet. Row 3 is going to have 3 double crochet or 3 granny stitches. So you'll start with a chain 3. And you will be able to tell what row you're on for the first section of this. Put 2 double crochet in that same stitch. It'll look like this. And then pull, so you have 3, you have your granny shell here, 3 double crochet, your other granny shell here, 3 double crochet, and in the middle of that we're going to put 3 double crochet right in the same stitch, just in between those 2 blocks. 2, 3. Ooh. And in that very first chain 3 or double crochet, you're going to put 3 double crochet. So if you need to know what row you're on, count the number of granny blocks you have. Okay, now if you lay it like this, it should be a triangle. It should be a right angle or a 90-degree angle triangle. And if you count the blocks this way, I know it's hard to tell, there's a block here, and a block here. That means 1, 2, 3. You're on your 3rd row. You can also do it this way. The block here, and a block here. That's your 3rd row. Also, if you count across the long part of the angle, block here, that means you're on row 3. So however many blocks you have on any of the sides tells you what row you're on. And what we're going to do for the first 11 rows is this. So we're on row 3. We're starting row 4, chain 3. Turn your work In that same stitch, put 3 double crochet. Find where your first block is. That's the first 3 double crochet in between. There's a space here. 3 double crochet goes in there. Find your next block, and don't be afraid to stick your fingers and pull it apart. It will tell you there's a hole there, there's a hole there. That's where your shells go, okay? 3 double crochet, go into the next space, put 3 double crochet in that space. For the very first section, every row is going to start with a granny shell in that first stitch and end with a granny shell in the last stitch for the first 11 rows. It will change after the 11th row, but don't be scared, it's not a big deal. Okay, so that's the end of row 4, so you should have 4 blocks this way and 4 blocks on any side. That's how you keep track of your rows. Don't be afraid to pull on your work. Now see, there's a hole there. There's a hole here. There's a hole there. That's where you're going to work your stitches. Start the row with a chain 3. Turn your work. 2 more double crochet in that first stitch. That's our increase. Go to the next space. So you're going to skip the next 3 double crochets. Did I only put 2 there? Oh no, what? Duh. Skip the next 2. Go in the space, put 3 double crochet. See, even Cinnamon Stitches gets confused sometimes. Like, wait, what did I do? Skip the next 3 double crochets, and in that space, put 3 double crochets. Skip the next 3 double crochets, and in the space put 3 double crochets. Skip the next 2 double crochets, and in that very first chain 3 or double crochet of the row, put 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. This is another increase. Okay, do this. Just keep repeating that row until you have 11 rows. If you want to know if you have 11 rows, you should have 11 blocks on all the sides. So 11 this way, or 11 this way, or 11 this way. The easiest way is to just pull. Like, this is a little harder to see, but see, here's a block here. You see where the whole block, 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 block. There should be 5. But it's easier to see here because you can like pull and see. Here's a block, there's a block, there's a block. See in the hole in between. You should have 11. I'm going to switch over. This is what mine looks like in the Spice Shop. I'm going to lift you guys up. This is what it should look like after the 11 rows. Okay. See how pretty this colorway is? This color is the Cayenne colorway, is what we started with. We're going to switch out. So we have 11 rows. And the reason we know that we have 11 rows is because if we pull these apart, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Or if you go this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So we're on the 11th row. This is what we have so far. Tape measure, please. It is just about 12 inches wide. So it should be 12 inches here and 12 inches here on the right angle side. Okay. On the long side is about 16 inches for me. That doesn't have to be perfect. If yours is off slightly, it does not matter. As long as this is going to be the width of the the wrap or the shawl or the scarf or whatever you want to call it, if you want this part to be wider, say 16 or 18 inches, continue doing this until this side or this side reaches the width that you want it to be, not the long side. For me, the 12 inches is good, so we are going to move on to, we're going to need a stitch marker for this. We're going to need a big enough stitch marker that we can easily see it. Aha! A sombrero. That will work. Alright, now, one of these sides we're going to continue doing the increases on, and the other side we're going to stop doing the increases on. So whether you want to mark the side with the increases or the side where you don't increase, that is entirely up to you. I'm marking the side where I don't want to increase anymore. So that will be whatever is the bottom part is facing. I'm going to put my stitch marker on the bottom part of the shawl down here. Okay. Doesn't matter what side it is. One side, and you need to remember, your stitch marker for me is on the side where I'm not going to increase anymore. Or you could put it on the side where you're gonna increase, whatever is easiest for you to remember. I'm gonna bring you guys back down closer again. I can show you what we're doing. So this is the side I didn't mark. This is the side that I'm going to do the increases on. So we're still gonna do the same things. We're gonna start with a chain 3, turn our work, and put 2 double crochets in the same stitch. That's our increase side. Every time we're on this side and we're at the end of the row, this is going to be an increase all the way down. If you're ending the row on this side or starting the row on this side, it's going to be an increase row. Alright, keep that in mind. Whenever you're on this side, and if you want to mark this side so that's the increase, you can. I mark the side I'm decreasing on so I remember not to decrease. Okay. So we're gonna finish. We're gonna do this row exactly like we did all the other rows until we get to that end, and then we're gonna change it up. Okay. So just put your granny stitches all the way down in every chain space, or it's not even a chain space. In every space between the granny shells, put a granny shell all the way down. I love the colors of the Spice Shop yarn. It's like you get these little, and I like doing it in the granny stitch. I mean, yeah. This is really pretty in a solid fabric because you get those really cute micro stripes. But I like these little like pops of color here and there. Like, hello, there's red here. And you have to look at it. It's so pretty to me. So we're just going to do granny, granny, granny all the way across. And when we get to the side that I marked that we're not going to do our increases on, that last stitch is going to be different. Okay, because if we keep going this way, we're just going to get a big triangle shawl. If you want a triangle shawl, just continue this on to infinity and you will have a giant triangle shawl. Okay, just keep going exactly like that and increase on both sides and you'll get a triangle shawl. It'll be a granny triangle shawl. It'll be really nice. But that's not what we're doing here. Well, that's not what I'm doing. You can absolutely do that. I encourage it. And you just got a free bonus pattern. Double crochet all the way up to the very last stitch. Alright, let's see, we're at the end of the row. And normally we would put 3 double crochet right here. We're only going to put 1. 1 single, well, not a single, 1 double crochet. Now what's going to happen here is because we're not increasing, this is going to create a flat edge that goes this way. And this is going to continue going out, and so it's going to be corner to corner. Okay? And now whenever you're on this side, you can move your stitch marker up if you want. We know that when we're on this side, we are not increasing. So I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Oops. 3. I'm going to turn our work over. Okay. So this is our second corner. This is the width. Now it's going to start going up this way. To get it to keep going up this way, you're going to chain your 3. It counts as a double crochet. You're going to skip this space and go over to this one and put a granny stitch, which is 3 double crochet. And see how it created, I mean, it's not perfect, but it's going to create a line that goes up like this. Okay, so that's going to be this side, and this is going to be this side. Okay, now just continue, and for every row going forward now, you should have 11 double crochets, or 11 granny stitches. Okay, so on our 11th row, we had 11. For this next row, we added one, but we also took one away. So we should still have 11 granny shells across every row until we get to towards the end when we start to make it squared off up there. Which we'll get to that bridge when we cross it. Don't worry about it. So just keep continuing with the pattern. Double crochet, or not double, they are double crochets, but granny shell in the spaces all the way across. What I'm going to do for this is I'm going to do all of the colors that I have of this yarn. I'm going to mix and match it. It is going to be so colorful and beautiful. It's going to be like the scarf of many colors. Because I like mixing yarn. I like mixing colors. You can do all yours in one color. You can do yours in a solid. Like I said, the Sweet Roll Bold would make an excellent alternative for this. And then you would have self-striping, and the stripes will go diagonal. So it would be really pretty with the bold. And that's, again, a wool-free option. I will link all the yarns I talk about in the description box below. If you do this with like a 4-weight or a 5-weight, it's just going to be smaller. Alright, so we got to this side where there's no marker, so this is an increase side. So in the very last stitch, we're going to put 3 double crochet. Chain 3. Turn our work over. And because we're still, our stitch marker's over here, we're still going to increase. So we're going to chain 3 and then put 2 double crochet in the very first stitch. And it's also going to be the taller side. The taller side is going to get the increase no matter what. When you're on this side, every row either ends in an increase or starts in an increase. And when you're on this side, it always ends in what we're calling a decrease. So instead of 3 double crochets, this entire side will only have 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet. Which in some instances will be a chain 3, and some instances will be a double crochet at the end of the row. Okay. And then we're just going to continue the pattern. Granny shells all the way back down to the bottom. You should still only have 11 granny shells for the row. I think this is going to be so beautiful. So beautiful, our spice shop yarn. We make a beautiful wrap to keep us warm on autumn nights. I don't know the next line. And this, because you're using a big giant hook and fat yarn, this is going to work up in no time flat. It's going to be a quick and easy project. Granny shell all the way down. You could also, if you wanted, you could do this as a blanket. You can make a blanket the same style, corner to corner granny blanket. You would just continue until the rows, instead of stopping at the 11th row, you would continue until it is the width you want the blanket to be. If you have a general understanding of how to do corner to corner. Alright, so we're towards the end of the row. We're on the side where our stitch marker is. So we have to identify we have a granny shell and a double crochet. See the previous row? Granny shell, double crochet. So we know that we have a granny shell here. Our granny shell should be on the inside or the right hand side of the last granny shell of the last row. And then the last stitch of the row will be on the left side. And so we're just going to take and go all the way over here to this chain 3 space and put a double crochet. It should look like that. I wasn't even on camera. I'm sorry. I apologize. We'll redo it. So we're going to take and we're going to put it in the chain 3 of the previous row. Double crochet. It should look like this. See how we have there's a granny shell here and a double crochet here. Granny shell here, double crochet here. Granny shell here, double crochet here. Your row should always look like that. So now we're going to start the next row with a double crochet, but we're going to do a chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip this granny shell and go into the hole on this side. So we got to flip our work over. So now we're going to skip these 3 stitches and in this space put a granny shell. You're going to continue doing this where you have the decrease or the chain 3 or the double crochet all the way up this side and the increase of the granny shell on this side. You're going to continue doing that until it's the length you want the scarf to be or the wrap. I am going to go until I run out of yarn almost. So I have, let me see how many of these I have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5. So I am going to continue doing this until I get about halfway through with the 5th ball. I will of course come back and tell you how many rows that is and how lengthy it is and what the length is and how many rows and all that good stuff. And I just repeated myself. But I'm just going to continue this until I get to the 5th ball of yarn. I will come back and check in with you and let you know what's going on. Tell you how many rows I did. Tell you how many balls of yarn we had to do. And in the wrap up, and actually in the beginning of the tutorial, because I haven't filmed it yet because I haven't finished filming this tutorial. I filmed the beginning after the tutorial is filmed. I will tell you exactly how many yards of a super bulky 6 you need for this, so that you can use the Spice Shop or you can use another bulky, super bulky 6. Like, I think this would be absolutely beautiful in the Sweet Roll Bold. I think this would be stunning. And I know that that makes a good wrap because I made a blanket out of it and it turned out wonderful. So that gives you another, isn't this pretty? Look at the way that's turning out. It is so colorful and fun. Let me raise you guys up again. So see how the decrease row is creating an edge to this side and this is being created. That's what it should look like, okay? If you need to keep moving your stitch marker up so you can remember that this is the one where you don't increase on, you do that. You do whatever you need to do, mark it as many times as you need to so that you know that you decrease on one side and increase on the other. All right, so we reach the end of the row and this is an increase side. So we're going to put 3 double crochets in that very first stitch. 2, 3. We're going to chain 3 and put 3 double crochets because this is still the increase side. So we can put 2 more double crochets in that chain 3 space and continue doing this until you start to see. We need to make sure, since this is about half the ball before we started, we need at least half of this last ball before we start decreasing to create this, the last corner. I'm going to walk you through that. You don't have to worry about that. I'm just trying to explain it to you, but when we get there, it'll be easy. We just need to make sure we have enough yarn. And that is always a problem that I have, is I over or underestimate how much yarn I need to close off the corner. And so one of my main problems with corner to corner has been running out of yarn in the last little bit of the corner. So I'm going to make sure we have more than enough yarn. I will calculate how many yards we use for the entire thing. I will give you all of that math. Just keep going and I will be back. Actually, you can just continue watching the video and you'll get the information. My bookshelf just threw a big giant ball of yarn at me. I kid you not. Oh, Betty, did that scare you too? It threw it off my bookshelf and it landed in my rolly cart. Yeah, just continue watching the video. I'll give you all the information you need in just 1 second. I'm forgetting that for the video, for you guys, it is in 30 seconds. You'll have all the answers. But for me, it'll be in a couple hours. I'll have all the answers. And then I'm starting to panic like, oh my God, I don't have the information. Just keep watching the video. I'll give it to you. It's not so difficult. This is beautiful. I really like the way this is working up. I really like this yarn. Premier has another yarn that is similar to this. It is called... what is that yarn called? It's less colorful than this, but it's the same base of yarn. It's wool and acrylic. So Woolly, the So Woolly, and I've used the So Woolly before. So the So Woolly, you could actually use instead of this as well. And it comes in beautiful solids, but it also comes in these beautiful speckles. And I have made a scarf out of this yarn. It's beautiful. It is also, it's 40% wool, 60% acrylic, so it has more wool. And you can feel the wool in it, but that's another yarn you could use instead of this one. So, all right, I will, oh, let's finish off the row together. So we're at the side where we're decreasing, so we're just going to put our double crochet on the side. Chain 3, turn our work. Double crochets or chain 3s on this side. Increases granny shell on the end of this row. Continue on. I will be back. Alright, I am started on my 4th ball. I'm not going to use the 5th ball. I don't think I'm going to need the 5th ball. So I'm going to say four skeins should do this for you. Oh, Spice Shop. Are these colors not gorgeous? Showing up on the screen. This is ball 1. When you start to see the yellow is ball 2. Like I said, I did all different colors of this. So I'm missing 2 of these. We have saffron, sweet pepper, lavender, and I don't remember what the 3rd one is because I don't have the label in here, but so this is color 1. This right here is color 2. Isn't that beautiful? We've got color 3. Is this pinks and purples right here. And then I've done 2 layers or 2 rows of the lavender. Alright, so I've done a little bit of math and figuring out when you start the first or the fourth, when you start the 4th ball of the Spice Shop. So each ball is 109. Trying to give you some idea of what the math is going to be like for the yardage. Clear. 109 times 3 is 327. Alright, 327 for 3 balls. Clear. 436 yards total. Should get this finished for a super bulky number 6. Now to make sure I have enough, I counted my rows for the first section because now we're going to be decreasing to close off this angle here. So we're going to be decreasing on both sides here. and I wanted to make sure I had enough of this ball to close it off completely without having to use the 5th ball. So I did 2 rows of the 4th ball before we start the decrease. You probably could get away with 3 rows, but I don't want to chance it. So 2 rows of the 4th ball before we start decreasing. All right, and I am on the decrease side already. You see I'm on the side with just the double crochet outside. And so I'm going to chain 3 and we're going to turn. Okay. I'm going to bring you guys closer because you are way up there in the air. There we go. Alright. Nice and cozy. Chain 3 because this is the decrease side, but we're going to be decreasing on both sides now. Okay? And do like you were normally doing. Just put in your granny stitches in between. The only thing that is going to change is the ends. Ow. Both ends of each one of these rows is going to be a decrease, which means we're going to put just a single post on either end. Okay? So if you are on the increase row where we generally are putting the 3 double crochet, you're just going to put 1 double crochet. And we're going to treat both ends exactly the same. Don't worry, I'll show you when we get there. This thing, from this point, the long point, to the flat end is about 6 feet at this point. So because we're doing a decrease now, it's not going to get any longer. But I think 6 feet is long enough to wrap around most bodies. Of course, if you are bigger than a 3X or a 4X, you're bigger than me, and you feel like you need a longer wrap, you can go ahead and put in a 5th ball. But I think the 4 balls for my body size will be sufficient. And this is going to be, when it's all done, about a 6-foot long wrap / scarf, which is a pretty good length. And 3 double crochets. I really like the way the colors kind of all, each one of these balls that I have picked out have similar colors to the next ball that I used. So this last one, which was the saffron colorway, has like purples and blues. This one, this ball has this purple here is from the lavender, which kind of goes with some of the purple that's in the saffron. Did I say saffron? Saffron. And so that has pretty much carried throughout the entire wrap. This yellow has been in a few of the different colorways. Like the sweet pepper has the yellow in it. So, and I even asked my daughter, I was like, can you tell, is there like a sharp break where it changes colors? And she said, no, it just kind of looks like it's fading from one color to the next. You can kind of see, but there's not like a defined line of, oh, that's where one color ended and the next one started, because they kind of like fade in. Alright, we're getting towards the end of the row. Alright, now right here, we're at the end of the row. Normally we would put our 3 double crochets here. We're not going to do that. We're just going to put 1 double crochet in the last stitch of the row. We're going to chain 3 and turn our work. That's going to create the corner. Now this part is going to start going this way and squaring off. Okay, that's what that looks like. See how it kind of goes? It's going to eventually just go across that way. Alright. So we're going to skip this area here and go over here. So we have the chain 3, turned our work. We're going to skip over to here and put a granny, which is 3 double crochets. See, and we just created the corner, so now it's going to go that way. Alright. Oops, I keep hitting that. Get out of the way. And we're just going to continue. Now this row, we are going to have, every row we're going to have 1 less granny. So when we started, we were at 11. We stopped at row 11, and we had 11 granny shells across, remember? Well, because we decreased, now we're going to have 10, and then 9, and then 8. And that will count down how many rows we have left to the end of the project. So right now we have 10 rows left till the end of the project. And then you can count down till we're finished that way. It's getting kind of warm in here. Whew. The sun is beating on the front of the house because it's the evening and the front of the house is starting to warm up. Those granny shells. This part of the project always like flies by because every row is getting smaller and smaller. Just don't forget that now every row until the end of the project you are going to decrease on both ends of each row. Otherwise you're going to get a really weird shape. Alright, so now we're at the end of the decrease side. And we're going to just continue decreasing on this side like we have the entire time. Put your double crochet in that chain 3 space. Chain 3, turn our work, skip this area like we have been, go over here, put our granny shell, 2, 3, and if you look, I can't fit it all on screen, but this is after we did the decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9 shells. This next row should have 8 shells, and so on. At least that's what I think. Pretty positive. I haven't done this in a while. It might be 7. We'll have to see. I could be totally wrong. Because we're decreasing on both sides, it may decrease by 2. We'll have to count this row and see. And just so you guys know, I don't generally have this all planned out before I sit down to do a tutorial. I do a tutorial while I'm designing so that I don't have to make 2 of the same project. Real talk. Because otherwise I have to make one and then I have to go back and make another one, and I hate doing that. It's boring. That's why a lot of times people are like, what is that project? And be like, I have no idea. I don't remember when I made that. Because I've only made one. And it was 5 years ago. I don't remember. What size hook did I use for that? I don't know. Go watch the video. If the video doesn't say, I have no idea. Alright, so we got to the end. So we're just going to take that chain 3 and put a double crochet in it. And then we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we got 8. We're good. We're good. Okay, so see, this is the side that was increased. Now it's starting to come across the top this way. It's not going to ever be longer than what it is now. So if you measured from this corner to the starting corner, that will give you an accurate representation of how long this wrap is going to be. Alright, so now we're going to chain 3. Turn our work over. Boop. We still have that corner there. I'm going to skip this area, go over here on the other side, and put our granny. This color right here reminds me of a tiger. The black and the kind of gold color. You got a little bit of that white in there. That's definitely tiger color, all right here. Oh no, we got purple. Does that mean it's LSU? I do not follow sports, don't get mad at me. Yeah, that's pretty. Not pretty. We're just going to continue this until we get to the last row, and you should only have one granny shell left. But I'm going to stick with you. We're going to do this together. Because it shouldn't take too long. And I got a full battery, so. Continuing on. It dropped down in the 40s last night. And the weather was like perfect for a wrap like this if you sat outside. And of course, right now it's just hot outside. It's not hot outside. It's hot in my house because I've been cooking all day and I've been working under wool and acrylic. All right, we got to the end of the row. Put our double crochet in the end of the row. Chain 3. Turn our work. That row should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 7 granny shells. Yeah, it's hard to tell because you guys are. Hang on, I'll raise you up and then we'll drop you again. Ugh. Maybe. All right. That is what it's looking like. So this end is going to continue going straight this way, and we're going to keep decreasing this, and it's going to meet up in the corner over here, and so it's going to be completely squared off. All right, coming back down. All right, so we're gonna skip this area here, go over there, put a granny. And you're going to notice the rows are going a lot faster. I will say though, I did get some sunshine while I was crocheting this today. I sat on the back porch a little bit. It was beautiful. There's a nice breeze going. Alright, we're at the end of the row. We're going to put our double crochet in the chain 3. Chain 3. Oops. Turn our work. Skip this area. Go over here. Trying to decide which one of these colors is my absolute favorite because they all are so beautiful and unique. Like, I thought this one was my favorite. Was this the saffron? I really thought that was my favorite, but then I really like this one. This is Sweet Pepper. Was really pretty. I'm trying to remember what the other colorway was. I know that the wrapper's got to be in the living room. Alright, we're at the end of the row. We're going to put a double crochet in that chain 3 space with a chain 3 stitch. Chain 3, turn again. We're definitely closing in. It's just going to keep closing in until we get to that point. Alright, skip this area. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this row should have 4. We only have a couple rows left. We're almost done, guys. 2, 3. And I don't know about you guys. I started this around, I want to say 12 noon today. And it is 6 o'clock. And in between all of this crocheting, I also cooked dinner and did a few other things and took some breaks and ate lunch. So 6 hours total. I'm going to say it was a 6 scarf. Could have probably did it faster if I was only crocheting the scarf and I wasn't filming the tutorial. Alright, so I put the double crochet. We're going to chain 3. Turn our work just like we've done every other row. See, we're almost there, guys. We're almost there. Let's get this area. Go over here. A granny. Here's a granny. Everywhere a granny, granny. Now, I have to say, I have done straight up corner to corner before. I have done a slanted granny stitch, but I have never done a granny corner to corner. This is my first time. And I'm kind of proud of the way it turned out. Alright, so look, we got 3. We're going to chain 3. I think you guys understand what we're doing. I don't have to show you at the end of every row. You chain 3, at the end you double crochet into that. I think you guys got that. We're just doing it together so you can get an idea of what this looks like. And if at any time you feel that I'm crocheting too fast and you want to actually see what I'm doing, you can slow the video down and it will look something like this. But my voice gets really weird when I'm in slow motion. That's what it looks like. Chain 3. I might have enough of this left over to knit a matching hat. I have to weigh that and see. That's kind of exciting. I might do that tonight. Alright. Did I just do the last row? I sure enough did. Okay, last row. You ready, guys? Rewind, because I wanted to show you. Alright, when you get to the last of the row and there's only 2 shells left, then there's only 1 row left after this. This is the last row. Okay, ready? Chain 3. Turn your work. Put your granny shell in the middle here. And double crochet into that chain 3 space right there. And that's it. That's it. Finito. Cut it. Tie it off. You are done. Now, the edges are going to be kind of like curved. That's normal. That is normal. Okay. We are done. Oh, it's so pretty. These colors are amazing. Look at that. Woo! Alright, I'm going to flip you guys around so you can see it in all of its beautiful glory. And you can see me in my raggedy pajama shirt. Alright, here we are. Here we are. This is the side we started with. See our little tail? I love the way this yarn, I don't like the way it's in my mouth right now, but I love the way this yarn works up. I love the colors. See how right here you can kind of see the colors shift a little bit, but there's not a hard break of, oh, this is one colorway, this is another colorway. It kind of just makes sense because there's a common, like the white and the black is common almost throughout. This one, not so much, but this one has like the purples and the yellows that are down here. So we have the yellows, and then there's purples on the end. Ugh. I got so much fuzz in my mouth. So here, I'm gonna back up a little bit. This is what it looks like. My arms are so sore, and this feels 100 pounds, and it's not. It's just, it's me having issues. And this is beautiful. That's the first half. That's the second half. This is what it looks like as a wrap. Like I said, you can make this wider if you need to. You can make it like wider this way. If you need to, just do more than 11 rows. You can make it as long as you want, as long as you have more yarn. But see, this perfectly fits around a 3X/4X body. And it covers the arm part that I'm always cold, like my shoulders are fully encapsulated. If you don't want to wear it as a wrap, it makes an excellent scarf. Isn't this so pretty? You can turn this into a pocket shawl just by putting some pockets on there. Okay, or if like you live really up north and it's cold, wrap that sucker around your head, tuck it into your coat, and you are just toasty, toasty, toasty warm. Now me, this is way too much because I live in, it's warm. I'm hot all the time. I'm from the north. I don't live in the north. Isn't this beautiful? Thank you so much for making a Spice Shop shawl with me. Tell me what yarn you plan on using to make this. Are you making it with the Spice Shop? Are you making it with the Sweet Roll Bold yarn? Which would be beautiful because these diagonals with that yarn will be really like, you'll see them. It will have a diagonal all the way through. Or are you making it with something like this, for like the Hometown from Lion Brand? What are you making it with? Thank you so much for joining me for this tutorial. I'm tired. It's the end of the day, guys. Thank you for joining me for this tutorial. I want to see if you make this. If you make one of these, I want to know what yarn you used. I want to know the yardage. I want to know how long it took you. I want to know what colors you used. Show me pictures in the Facebook group. Email me pictures. Post it on Instagram and @Cinnamon Stitches in the description, or hashtag Cinnamon Stitches, all one word, in the description box below Instagram, and I will see it. And I try to respond to everybody when they make these things. I get so excited seeing my creations out there in the wild. It makes me so happy, so please, please share. And with that, I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.